All right, today we got Owen Bishop, aspiring actor, producer, and writer out of Edmonton, Alberta.
That's right.
So, Owen, tell me how that is. It's you're in Edmonton, Alberta, so it's not a movie scene or a video scene as much. How's that been?
It's not as much of a video scene as places like Toronto or Vancouver, but Alberta itself is really coming into its own as a film scene. I mean, we've had this.
They're putting money into it. The government's putting money into it right now.
They really are, and it's even along the indie line. We're seeing a lot of projects pop up and a lot of really interesting and creative work that's being done locally.
Did you go to school for acting, or what got you into it? Take me through that.
Well, I mean, when I was 5 years old, I would always do my improvised terrible tap dances in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And my parents would cart me off to like theater school classes, and I would get there and pretend to have the worst time but have the best time. And that was sort of my introduction into theater. And then around the age of 16 or 17, when I was in high school, I decided I wanted to pursue it professionally. And at the age of 21, I went out to Vancouver to a place called Studio 58.
Yeah.
I trained there for 3 years. And then after that, I came back here.
Did there be so for all you've been in a couple things now? We see you in a couple films, and we're starting to see you get more attention in the Edmonton area. So for people that are starting out, how did you get going? Was it just about taking every free gig that you could, or was it branding yourself online and trying to find a way to get some of those projects?
I mean, there's always smaller items that are popping up in the bigger shows that are putting casting calls out, but there are at least 4 Facebook websites specific to Edmonton that I'm aware of that are always having casting calls for little projects.
So just joining those groups,
yeah.
Being part of that community.
Yeah. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Someone once told me that when you're not actively working on a project, your full-time job is networking. And so getting to meet as many people as I can, even just getting in the room to audition, is a huge help because they see your face, they get to know that you're not a weirdo.
Yeah.
Hopefully. They see what you can do, and you're going to be on their mind for future projects.
What do you find is the most challenging part of acting? Take me through that, because I know we've seen you, we've even had you on a couple projects a couple times, and you're killing it. You come in and you can turn on whatever impression that we need you to turn on for. So what's the most challenging part that you found doing these projects the last couple of years?
The acting is, I mean, it always presents its own artistic challenge, and it's always a privilege to get to work on whatever project I'm a part of. The really hard part is staying motivated and not getting super demoralized in the off time, because there is going to be a lot of off time. Is that so?
It's kind of like being an actor is kind of like running a business. You're trying to network. You're trying to get as many gigs as possible. You're running your own brand and your own business. So what are how do you control those emotional ups and downs as a project ends and then you have a whole bunch of downtime? When the next project comes, obviously you're on a high. So there's a huge roller coaster of you going up and down in this industry. How do you control that? What are your tips for some of the other people out there?
I mean, keep yourselves busy. I do a lot of writing. I'm pretending to create my own website. Yeah. It's very out of date at the moment. But getting out to film screenings, getting out to auditions, being a part of any film workshop or play workshop that you can, to stay in the business as much as you can and stay in the atmosphere is always good.
What is the funnest project that you ever worked on? And you don't have to say the Magnolias ones. What is? Take me through that.
So 2 years ago, I had the privilege of being part of the Penley Shakespeare Festival, and that's over in England. And you have 4 days to rehearse the first play, and then once that play opens, you have 4 days to rehearse the second play. So you have to show up off book for 2 Shakespearean plays. You rehearse them outside. In a very typical Shakespearean style, which was very few days, very little time, and just get it up on its feet as quickly as possible. And it was an experience unlike anything I've ever done before, simply because there was so much vivacity and so much need to get to a certain spot in such a short amount of time.
So when you're traveling and you're doing these things, I heard you in the pre-notes and when we were talking before that you're looking at maybe going to Europe this year to do some acting. You're writing a lot right now. What's your favorite of those 3? Producing, writing, and acting, and then afterwards, what's the travel like?
Well, producing usually comes into play when I'm trying to create my own acting work because there aren't any other jobs.
So that's the downtime.
Yeah, exactly. A downtime is a lot of producing. Writing and acting are 2 very different beasts. Writing can be a really social event, but it can also be really, really reclusive and really refreshing as someone who's both sort of an ambivert of being both an extrovert and an introvert at different times.
Yeah.
I find they both fulfill a certain need that I have as a creative person, but also as a social person. And I love the collective work of acting and creating something with other people, and then writing. I can go and craft something and then put it up for criticism and discussion later.
Makes sense. We talk a lot on this podcast a little bit about this digital world, because obviously everything we do is revolving around digital, and the internet is so powerful. What social platforms are your favorite? Which ones are you on? How can the people find you? And what do you think makes the biggest difference in the acting industry, and which platforms they should be on?
I mean, the one I'm most active on is Instagram, by a long shot. I make these vows to be on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook.
All of them, yeah?
Yeah, every day, and I'm not at all.
Yeah.
I'm the worst for social media. But when I am a part of an interesting project like this, or on a film, or part of a play, I do like to throw pictures up on Instagram just to let people know what I'm a part of. And I found an article about what hashtags are the most effective.
Yeah.
And as soon as I started implementing that, I found I was getting a lot more return on the investment, so to speak.
So do you think Instagram for actors and actresses is the most important right now? Or I guess, like you said, the Facebook groups are out there. What's the impact of Facebook in comparison to Instagram?
Facebook is really good for networking. It's for getting out there and actually getting to know people, getting in the room with people after a few conversations. That's how I met you guys.
Yeah.
Instagram is more about creating an online presence and fabricating, no, not fabricating, but crafting a persona and a brand, so to speak.
Yeah. We think that just as long as you're authentic, and we see your Instagram, you're authentic in what you're doing and the projects you're on, it's going to take off, and you're going to find that traction starts to go with the things like the researching hashtags, etc. We go on the show, and every single day we talk about a quote, and we have your quote here, which I love. Jump and grow wings on the way down. Take me through that, because whether it's entrepreneurship, acting, sometimes you just have to take the gig, take the client, and then figure it out afterwards. Is that what that's all about for you?
It really is. It's sort of setting up the rest of the dominoes after you've already pushed the first one. I find nothing gets rid of procrastination like setting a deadline that somebody else is enforcing.
Putting pressure on yourself to get it done.
Yeah. I love applying for festivals with plays that haven't even been written yet, or applying for things overseas that I have no way of getting to at the moment, simply because it sparks something. It sparks a new necessity that I'm more accountable than to just myself.
Yeah.
And one thing that's really impeded me in my career has been trying to get everything in place before I embark on a project or embark on a journey. And I'm the type of person who I don't let deadlines pass without at least trying to create something. And so taking that leap and then figuring it out afterwards.
So I love that. So is it that planning every step of the way is going to create more success for you, or is it just leaping straight in and then figuring it out as you go? Which one do you find you've had more success with?
Planning every step of the way is a surefire way for me not to get anything done.
I love it.
There's another quote that I love. It's "Don't let perfect get in the way of great." It's something along those lines.
Yeah.
And there are variations of it out there, but it's a great ideology of, if you're constantly subscribing to this belief that everything has to be perfect and absolutely flawless, you're never going to create anything, and certainly not anything worthwhile.
Yeah.
Every project I've been a part of, I've learned a lesson from it simply because it hasn't been perfect. And as an artist, or as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, the really truly successful people learn from all their failures and missteps, and possibly more than from their successes.
And as you as an actor and me as a business owner, we're our own worst critics.
Absolutely.
Like I'm watching some of these podcasts that you're putting together now, and every time that I feel that it was really bad, it doesn't come out that bad, or other people don't notice. Mm-hmm. And I'm guessing it's the same in acting. Like you could feel you had a horrible day on set, and then you look at it afterwards, and it wasn't so bad.
Absolutely. And because we're so attuned to the details of what we do and this vision that we've created, and perhaps an unattainable vision sometimes, what we put out into the world can really be fantastic. And it's going to affect people in a way that we couldn't even have dreamt of.
Yeah.
And we still would, if it was just up to us, perhaps view it as a failure.
What does your next 5 years look like? You said you're going to travel, you're going to try to get some of those gigs out, so you're going to leap over the edge. Mm-hmm. What's your goal to get those next projects, and take me through the next 5 years?
I mean, the one of the stressful things about being in my line of work is that the 5 years could take me anywhere.
Yeah.
It could take me to London, it could take me to Paris, it could take me to LA, Vancouver, Toronto, in Edmonton, Calgary.
Yeah.
My 5 years is very, very unscripted at the moment. And I have long-term goals that I've set. I want to publish plays that I've written. I want to get plays into certain festivals. I want to be a part of certain festivals. But so much of what I want to do is dependent on the decisions of other people that I focus on the potential things in the long term, and I focus on the things that I can control in the short term.
I love that. Any time that you focus on what you can control, you work hard, you hustle, then some of the other dominoes start to fall afterwards. I love it.
Yeah.
Owen, thank you for coming out.
My
This
pleasure.
was a blast,
Thank you
and
for
we'll
having
get you out again sometime.
Certainly hope so.
Thanks.